my name is Richard Borges. I'm part of the community task force here in Cwmaman, and part of a team of six boys, all together through Keep Wales Tidy, Groundwork Trust, and us in Cwmaman, Communities First, have transformed a derelict spot up the back behind the church into a memorial garden. So hopefully it can be used throughout the community for everyone to use. And this week as well, there's an environmental festival in the church going on. We've got everything from, there's an insect roadshow going on today. There's got music stuff, there's quizzes and environmental quizzes throughout the week. So here we are now with the main man, Steve Nelson. So hopefully he can tell us a bit more about what's going on with the environmental festival.
I don't know why we run it for a week, but we cram everything in for the full week. Guess people into the villages, with the shape of the village and that. We need as much as we can to try and draw people in and you don't pass through. So at the moment now the kids have just done their roadshow with insect roadshow.
Oh, the insects, yeah.
We've got the artist and the panels which the boys have been helping, and they'll get put back and that'll be quite a prominent place in the village. So a nice little project for them. And I don't know whether you've seen, but they've got their fantastic bench up in the memorial garden, which everybody keeps coming on to me and saying how good they worked, and it's getting a good festival.
Now we're with Sue, who's got the Rainforest Roadshow, who's brought up to the Cwmaman Festival just to show all the school kids all the stuff about the rainforest and all different insects and stuff like that. So just have a little chat now, let's see what she's got, what surprises she got with us. Hey Sue, alright?
Hello.
Well, obviously you brought a fantastic display up with you this morning, but
yeah.
how did the kids find it? They find it...
I think they found it exciting and interesting, which is really what we're trying to do, to inspire children to think about their own environment, but about other environments as well. I think the rainforest has got to be one of those places that you can get children really excited about because of all the creatures that you find there, and hopefully along the way we'll teach them a bit about the people and how people live there and are part of their environment.
Yeah, so they all got into it well this morning and this afternoon.
They did. Yeah.
Some fantastic stuff, and you've also got some live creepy crawlies as well. How did they go down with the children?
There were one or two who weren't quite so sure, but I think most of them were really excited when they heard they were going to see some insects, because this week is National Insect Week. I think they were expecting to see little things, so when they saw big creatures, really big, it was a bit of a wow. Certainly get them excited, and hopefully they'll go out and find a few insects out there. And
it's not just the insects you brought up as well, it's all...
No, we've got lots of things from people, things that people in the Amazon have made, and just try and explain a bit about the way of life and about how people live more sustainably in the Amazon, a bit of the craftsmanship.
Well, these are really big, aren't they? So where would these normally be found then?
These are actually species you'd find in New Guinea, so they're a long way from home. We breed these at home, and we've got quite a few of them. They're very impressive, and they're great for the children to have a look at because they're big and impressive, but they're quite hardy, they're quite tough. This is a type of praying mantis called an Indian violin mantis. It looks so much like a dead leaf. It's got fantastic camouflage. And they look a bit slow when they're like this, but if something came flying past like a butterfly, it can snap them.
Alright, we're here with Ben Williams today, who was with part of Keep Wales Tidy, and he just had a bit of a morning down there with the school children at Cwmaman, infants, doing a bit of pond dipping, so we'll see what he's been doing this morning now.
Yeah, we've been down on the river to give them an introduction of what lives in the river. That's what it's all about. We explain what the insects are, what they catch, the lifestyles of the insects, the fish. The life cycles are on the riverbank, where you've got the flies coming back to lay the eggs hatch into the insects live in the river for approximately a year. Then they will hatch into flies, and the flies come back and lay the eggs again, and that's a circle, and of course everything else depends on that. You have the fish eating them, we've got the birds eating them, and then the birds come to eat the fish, and that's the cycle, and that's what we're introducing them to.
contribution to the food chain as well, and all the
That's
all
right,
the
yeah,
things that keep the
yeah,
river
and
going,
the
really.
natural life. And of course, it's inevitable when we're in the river like that, somebody will catch a fish.
Yeah.
And it creates much excitement.
They had a couple today, didn't they? And
Yeah,
big
we've
ones
had a
and
couple,
smaller.
yeah, and we had 3 on the first lot and 2 on this lot. But yeah, they did very well, but they had the bigger ones this time. So.
Yeah, do you teach them about any problems the rivers are facing around
Yeah,
Cwmaman
well,
as well in their
what
community?
we try to get them to appreciate is that the fish and the wildlife in the river indicate that the river is clean, and we drink that water. And of course, by them not throwing stuff in, well, hopefully they'll remember that, and they won't throw stuff into the river to pollute it and cause problems in the river.
Hello, everybody.
We're with Angela Wigley now for the reception class of Cwmaman Junior School. We're just going to see what the children have been up to this afternoon up at the Cwmaman Centre and the Enviromental Festival. And what they hope to get out of the experience, they think they've just been for a walk, have they? And they've just done like a memory stick, is it? Or
yes, that's right. We were invited along yesterday to the Mini Beast show that was on, and the children thoroughly enjoyed it. And then Amanda from Communities First invited us back today to work in groups to make memory sticks of the journey that they've actually taken today to come over to the church.
So what's that actually involved then with the memory
Well,
stick?
a memory stick apparently, if my information is correct, goes back to the Indians when, to record a journey that they had made, they would take a stick that was on the ground or a stick from a tree, and they would actually pick up artifacts on their journey.
Yeah.
And they would tie them by means of reeds or whatever natural things they could lay their hands on. And when the journey was complete and they returned to their people or to the campfire, they would revisit the memory stick, and looking at the artifacts that had been tied or placed along the stick, it would help them as a prop to recall their journey so that they could retell around the campfire what had happened to them that day and what they'd seen, what they'd heard. And they're totally engaged, they're totally entertained.
They seem to be enthralled by it, don't they? So
It's cross-curricular, so they're learning how to retell a story, which is their language literacy development. They are speaking to one another, so they're communicating, they're listening to one another, all these skills that we've been looking for in the language subject. This year was one simple activity.